Hey, what's up guys? Shuckle King here, bringing you week 3 for UDL, where we are facing off against KCric. This is for Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. For our RS, both of us went 1-1, so we're hoping to get wins and go on the right track in this 2-game skid of Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon play. Before we get into this, make sure you guys consider subscribing to the channel. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying this in-depth analysis of some high-level Pokemon Showdown play, at least from my opponent's side. Maybe my side's not the highest level, but we'll try. We'll see how rusty I am. But yeah, really appreciate if you guys could subscribe to the channel. Would be great to get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So, looking at KCric's team, his team is very scary. He has a Mega Metagross, which I believe A-Drive had it for GBA, I think like Season 4-ish. And that mon is a menace. And Tapu Koko with Z-Axis is also super, super strong. Crocodile is a pretty nice defensive pivot, and could also Choice Scarf sweep in a pinch, though I don't think it's going to do that against my team. Uxie is just an all-around nice defensive wall. Keldeo is a very strong breaker. I really don't have a great switch into that. Noivern is faster than everything on my team and can drop Draco Meteors outside on the Aegislash. Weezing is a physically defensive poison type that handles Donphan fine, so it might be okay in this game. Abomasnow is an option in this game as well. For only 1 point, it was pretty good value. And then Gloom can also be a physically defensive or specially defensive poison wall. It'll absorb Toxic Spikes, so if I wanted to bring Toxic Spikes on Greninja, it'd be a little bit harder to bring. So, if I expect the Gloom to come anyway, which I don't think it's that bad into me. What I think is really strong into my team, I think the number one threat is Tapu Koko. With it having Z, there's a lot of versatility it could bring. It also outspeeds my entire team. It could 2 a KO, Mega Charizard X with Dazzling Gleam, especially if rocks get up, but hopefully don't let Stealth Rocks get up, at least before Mega, I get the Mega off of Charizard, but it's still going to be really strong regardless. It can really weaken the Aegislash, especially with the Z, what is the move? The Guardians of Alola move, which will bring your HP down 75%. You could just use that whenever, and you do have to watch out for berries that'll, like Iapapa Berry would give you 50% health if you're at 25% HP or below. So there's a risk of running that move. You could just heal a Pokemon up to full, and then you really only dealt 25% damage, which isn't that great of an output from using a Z move, but it's okay. So I could run that on some Pokemon, but you could just run Z. Fairy is pretty good into me, especially if you assume I don't want to get my Aegislash weakened. You can run Z Grass as well to hit my Donphan, so quite a couple options there. Electros is like an okay answer because it's not super effectively hit by anything, but if the Tapu Koko starts going for Calm Minds, and Electros not doing a ton, unless if I have Toxic or like Acid Spray would be like the 2 ways I can kind of hit the Tapu Koko. So very strong into me. Mega Metagross, obviously a really hard hitter. I feel like I have okay responses. They're definitely not great. Greninja does outspeed and goes for Dark Pulse, so I probably won't kill. Unless if I'm like a Specs Greninja, then maybe I kill. But I imagine Mega Metagross will probably have maybe max HP, max speed to outspeed my Kartana. Something like that. Outspeed the Charizard you definitely want to do at minimum. So Mega Metagross hard here. Could have Grass Knot to a KO my Donphan, so that's something I definitely have to watch out for. Also, it's Earthquake to make sure it doesn't get hit by King Shield from Aegislash. So, Mega Metagross is pretty good here. It could even go for Rock Tomb against a Charizard X. If, say, I predict to go for an Earthquake and I want to Dragon Dance with my Charizard against Metagross, you could just run Rock Tomb to obviously hit both forms and also lower my speed. So, it's hard for Charizard to set up on Metagross, obviously. Though I might live an Earthquake, depending on how much attack the Metagross has, and that depends how bulky my Charizard is. Uxie, it's pretty good. It can kind of respond to the Charizard X with like Rocky Helmet plus Foul Play plus Thunder Wave. I imagine all those moves are probably going to come, and most likely Stealth Rocks. It could run on Crocodile as well, but I think Crocodile has a lot more versatility to run not rocks in this game. I think Uxie will probably be the Stealth Rocker. It can also pivot slowly on, like, outspeed the Aegislash and pivot into whatever the response is to Aegislash, which he has to have a response into Aegislash, but he doesn't have great ones for sure. Keldeo, there's no true water resist on the team, like Kartana, Greninja, Virizion, in theory, all resist water, but Virizion's a tough bring because of Metagross outspeeds, and if you have Zen Headbutt, you're going to kill the Virizion, or even Meteor Mash is doing a ton, and Close Combat's not really doing a ton to Metagross. That's why I have Z on it, which you see I have Z on the Aegislash. Tapu Koko does a lot of damage. Keldeo has like Secret Sword to even bypass the special defense of Virizion, though Virizion would do a lot of damage to Keldeo in return. Noivern outspeeds. Wheezing kind of hard hits Virizion. Gloom is a pretty good answer. I guess Abomasnow even has Ice Shard, though I think Virizion probably beats Abomasnow 101 because you don't get the defense boost from Hail in this generation. So, yeah, Virizion doesn't look great. Kartana is not a switch into Keldeo, and I guess you can resist Hydro Pump with Greninja, but then you get hit by the fighting move. So, not great responses to Keldeo on this team. Everything gets to a KO by Specs Hydro Pump, even like Electros. So it's going to be hard to switch into Keldeo, and it's pretty fast. Not faster than Kartana, fortunately, or Greninja, but Greninja doesn't hit it super hard anyway. Crocodile probably comes as a Mesprit counter, and someone handles Aegislash fine, someone handles Charizard fine. Depending on what you want the Crocodile to do, it'll do it fine. Gloom or Wheezing, I think, could come in the 6th slot. Aegislash does an Oko Gloom with a Z move. Outside of that, Aegislash can Oko everything with a Z move on the team if I have Ghost or Steel. I think both are fine in this game. I had Ghost for a while and switched to Z, as you see here, but I think both are fine. And Gloom takes them on in theory, and then you can go for a Sleep Powder, and even go for like Hidden Power Fires. You probably want anyway for the Kartana. You could also just bring Noivern, which outspeeds everything on my team. But I'm not quite sure about it. It gives opportunities for Aegislash to set up if you say go for a Draco Meteor, and then Aegislash can come in and autonomize. So that's a risk reward there. And I don't really see Abomasnow coming in this game. I didn't really prep for it. So my team here, first, Aegislash. Depending on the team, I can like click Steelium Z and probably get a kill on close to everything. Outside of that, the Gloom comes. 56 special attack. Lets me kill Gloom after a Rock and Spike with a Z hit into a regular hit. So a lot of ifs, thens, but it's fine for that. The rest is for bulk to try to maximize the opportunities to set up. I have speed to outspeed the Tapu Koko after I get an autonomized boost. There's probably going to be some Scarf on the team, but I could scout that out throughout the game and have King Shield, and I might be okay. I also have to watch out for like Scarf Crocodile would outspeed me and obviously deal a lot of damage, so that's a consideration. Though I don't know if you are worried about like a weakness policy Aegislash. If I set up like an autonomized Scarf Crocodile outspeeds and go for an Earthquake as I'm in King Shield, then I get extra attack as well. Then I could go for another autonomize or go for an attack. And maybe even an attack plus a Shadow Sneak might kill the Crocodile. So there's risks for the Crocodile for sure. And you probably don't go for knockoff an Aegislash because you don't want to get your attack lowered. T-Wave Uxie is also something. King Shield will not block T-Wave from Uxie, so it could slow me down if I want to try to set up speed. Next Pokemon I have on my team is Electros. Assault Vest, it kind of checks a little bit of everything, but doesn't really beat a ton of mons, but like it's just here. And like soaks damage and deals damage, and it's like generally fine. Like it's pretty tough to check Koko reliably, or check Keldeo reliably, or check Metagross super reliably. But like this mon can kind of do all three. If it has to go to like on a 1-on-1 against any of those three, it might beat it. It's not going to beat the Koko, and I'm not really using this to even beat the Metagross either. But everything else in the team, it's fine against. Like Max HP Crocodile, I 2 KO with Giga Drain with my special attack investment. The special defense with Assault Vest lets me take either 2 Spec Scalds or 2 Scarf Hydro Pumps from Keldeo. I don't take 2 Specs Hydro Pumps from Keldeo, which is the hardest move it can hit the Electros with. But there's also a chance to miss, and Discharge probably doesn't kill Keldeo for full, but maybe after Spikes and Rocks, which hopefully I can get up in this game, might be able to do so. I threw the rest in defense to maybe take some hit from the Metagross. But I'm sure it'll have like something to hit the Electros. Maybe Steel Coverage, Earthquake, Zen Headbutt, fire move for Kartana or Hammer Arm, something like that is probably going to be the Metagross spread. Next we have Mega Charizard X, which is very specially defensive. You see all these stats here, and I'm like really investing in the lowest one. The special defense lets me live 2 specs Koko Dazzling Gleams, or if you get a Calm Mind boost, then I live 2 Dazzling Gleams from full. So again, want to make sure rocks aren't on the field, which, spoilers, something on my team will try to make sure rocks aren't on the field. But yeah, if I get a speed boost with Dragon Dance, I'll outspeed Tapu Koko max speed, unless you're like Choice Scarf, obviously. And that would outspeed everything on the team unless if something's Choice Scarf. Yeah, I outspeed Adamant, Scarf, Crocodile, Earthquake. Actually, that's not necessarily true, but I have Defense, which I think the Defense lets me live Adamant, Scarf, Crocodile, Earthquake from full. So I guess that's nice. I probably won't find out if it's Scarf before I have a chance to set up with Charizard, but I might be able to. And I almost always live a Scarf Draco from full from Noivern, but that's probably not going to come into play either. Hopefully I can set up Dragon Dances and win with this and take some Tapu Koko hits. Next we have Donphan with max special defense to live 2 Grass Knots from Tapu Koko, unless if you're a Grassium Z, which, so yeah, sure. You got me there. With the Citrus Berry, lets me take 2 Grass Knots. And then I should kill Return with Earthquake, especially if I can get spikes up. Resting to attack to deal as much damage as possible with Earthquake. I don't think Metagross can 2-hit KO me with anything, even like Ice Punch I don't think 2-hit KOs. Grass Knot from Metagross shouldn't 2-hit KO unless if it's like max special attack or something like that. I don't think that's going to be the case. Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Rapid Spin were all pretty straightforward. It's like the slightly better Sand Slash set. It's not great, but with all the offensive stats I have on the team, like this is like fine. Last move, I have Toxic on here to wear down Uxie. Could have been Knockoff, could have been Ice Shard, could have been Toxic. Any of those 3 moves I think were fine. I went with Toxic here. I was only able to get 1 mock, which was the only mock I've gotten so far for this, but I think Toxic was nice in that mock. Greninja is going to be the lead. Hopefully, if Tapu Koko's there and just goes for a Thunderbolt, I'll live with a Focus Sash and then kill with a Hydro Pump. That would be a pretty best case scenario there, but outside of that, I'm going to just stay in and try to get up spikes. Extra Sentry would catch Keldeo. Dark Pulse hits Uxie and Metagross and really everything else in the team. Obviously, Hydro Pump hits Crocodile, such like that. But yeah, spikes would be nice to stack up the damage with Aegislash, with Charizard, and the last one, which is going to be Kartana. But ideally, if I can get 1 layer of spikes and deal a lot of damage to a Pokemon, then it's probably a good trade with the Greninja. I don't think Defog Tapu Koko or Defog Noivern is going to come to this game. And then I have just max speed, and the bulk didn't really make too much of a difference. And if I outspeed like a modest Tapu Koko or a modest Noivern, like trying to catch me playing like a very bulky Greninja or something like that, then that'll be nice. And last is Scarf Kartana. This will outspeed the Metagross, which is definitely still very threatening. Outspeeds the Tapu Koko, last Fish Choice Scarf. Outpaces a Scarf Keldeo, which is great. Seku Cut for the Gloom plus the Weezing. I don't know if I 2-hit KO. It depends. After a Spike and Rocks, I probably 2-hit KO Gloom. I probably won't 2-hit KO the Weezing, though. Yeah, I'll still be able to get decent damage on. I can switch into a Charizard or something else. Knock off just for hitting the Metagross harder. I considered having Night Slash just to deal a little bit more damage to it, and I guess I have a crit chance, but Knock Off's also good to get rid of like a Noivern, whatever item it's going to be. Leaf Blade is here for the Keldeo, and then Smart Strike is like a generally fine spammable move against like Koko plus Noivern if they both want to outspeed me and such like that. So yeah, that's the team. Hopefully it does okay. Metagross and Tapu Koko are scary, as well as Keldeo. But yeah, let's get her into this game. All right, here we are for the game against KCric. So no Gloom. So I think Aegislash looks pretty good to just deal a hit with the Z. And maybe if I get an Autonomize up, I look like I'm in pretty decent shape. Ideally, I want to get Hazards up, obviously, to facilitate that happening. And as again I said before, we're going to just lead with the Greninja. Ideally, I get a layer of Spikes up, And I don't think it's going to be Defog Koko or Defog Noivern in this game. So Koko is the lead. If you stay in and Thunderbolt, then I'm going to kill the Hydro Pump. So I'm going to go right for that hit. The opportunity to kill Koko would definitely be great. He goes for a U-turn, which is definitely a smart and safe play. It's a little bit risky. If I was like max attack with Gunk Shot, I had a chance to kill if I was like Choice Scarf. So there is a chance that the Koko could be Choice Scarf, not fearing like a Scarf Greninja outspeed with Gunk Shot. So that is something to keep in note. The Koko outspeeds, which is not that surprising, but we know it's not like a bulky spread. Well, we don't know. It could be max HP, max speed, I suppose, but the attack damage from U-turn basically shows it's at least 0 attack. And he's going to go into Noivern. So Hydro Pump's not going to do a lot, especially if I miss, but I do land and I do like 30%. That shows it's basically like 0 attack, 0 HP Noivern. So it's probably max speed, max special attack to outspeed my Greninja. So definitely not the result that I wanted from this Greninja. Quite unfortunate. So I'll just try to get a spike up in case the Noivern isn't faster, but it should be faster and kill me. But fortunately, KCric misses a Draco Meteor, which is great, and I can get a spike up. So get an opportunity with Greninja to get the spike up anyway. So it pretty much has done its job at this point, but Greninja's still good, and it can handle the Metagross and deal a lot of damage with Dark Pulse. Still do a lot of damage with Hydro Pump to Crocodile, Dark Pulse to Uxie, and what's the psychic move? Extra Sentry to hit the Keldeo. So still can hit 4 Pokemon pretty hard. So I'm going to go into Electros. Again, Electros is like the Jack of all trades, master of none in this game, and can handle pretty decent special attacks. It also handles special attacks that don't hit. So Electros got in here for free. So very lucky for me that I was able to get 2 misses with the Noivern, and kind of like on the turn 1 misplay, I guess I really should have gone for a spike immediately there, but I basically get rewarded. But I don't think there's too much of an overall downside here. So we are back in. Electros is here. I'm going to go for a Discharge, try to get a pair on something. I don't think the Crocodile comes in, and if it does, I'll just Giga Drain into a KO it. Or if the Noivern wants to stay in, then I can get it paralyzed, but I don't think the Noivern would stay in, and obviously we see it switch out the Uxie. This special attack shows that it's probably some special defense on Uxie, but not max special defensive, so that's fine. Uxie's probably going to get up rocks, so I'm going to go right into Greninja and just try to get up more spikes. I feel like I could also go for Dark Pulse here and pressure Uxie. I could flinch, and then you do like nothing with the Uxie outside of getting up rocks, which is definitely a good exchange there. But I wanted to get more pressure on the Keldeo. Again, I'm setting up an opportunity for Aegislash to win, because I think if I get hazards up, I think I'm in pretty decent position for Aegislash to win, because I don't think too much is going to be living a hit. So yeah, I'm going to go right for a spike here. I might also say the Tapu Koko might come out on this. Maybe a Scarf Crocodile or Scarf Keldeo comes in on a Dark Pulse, and I'm not doing a lot of damage. So I know spikes are going to be doing damage throughout the game. So as we see here, Uxie goes for U-turn, not attack invested again, and goes into Noivern. So Noivern should be able to kill me with any one hit, which is fine. We do see it's probably max speed Noivern and kills me with a U-turn. That's fine. I get 2 spikes up, which is okay damage. I mean, I shouldn't have gotten this much value out of the Greninja because it dodged the Draco Meteor, but we'll take that. So Keldeo comes in. Don't know if it's Scarf, don't know if it's Specs. Kartana could definitely come in and go for Leaf Blade, but I'm not doing like any damage to Noivern if that's the play. I don't believe Psycho Cut would kill the Keldeo from this range. Metagross is also a pretty fine switch in. Even Uxie could kind of switch in and deal Rocky Helmet damage, and maybe just a scout what the Kartana is going to do. But I go into Electros. Again, Jack of all trades, master of none. I think Discharge seems pretty good here, just to try to fish for any paras. And I don't think the Keldeo is going to want to stay in. So we go for Discharge, not going to get a para because we can on the Koko. We see from that damage, it's probably like very minimal special attack. I think it's probably just enough, or HP. It's probably enough HP to go max special attack, enough speed to outspeed a Greninja, and then the rest in HP. So it's probably going to be like some type of spread like that. Electros, again, it's not going to be doing really anything to Koko, especially because I don't have Toxic or Acid Spray on this set. So I'm going to just go for the Momentum move as we see Nature's Madness come out. It's going to be really tough for me to check too much after taking that damage. We are going to go for Volt Switch and get in Donphan. This will give me an opportunity to either set up rocks or remove the rocks that are on my side of the field. And I think Charizard is pretty decent in this game, so I'm going to go for the Rapid Spin. It gives a free switch to go into Keldeo, and I, again, really don't have a switching into this mon, so I'm going to have to figure out what to sack. It could be to Donphan, but I feel like Donphan's still pretty good. One, if I can get a Rocks up in the future, would be nice to chip down the Noivern. And again, all the hazard chip that I can get to facilitate a Aegislash or even like a Charizard sweep would definitely be nice. So I'm going to go into Electros. Maybe I can see if I live a Scald, what type of set this is. I die to a Hydro Pump. Now, this doesn't tell me if it's Scarf or Specs Keldeo, because if it was a timid Keldeo, high roll-ish, like Hydro Pump would have killed from Scarf. And obviously Specs would have decimated my Electros. So I don't really know too much information about this Keldeo, unfortunately. Again, Kartana could come out here, go for a Leaf Blade, and like I would kill the Keldeo, but you're probably going to switch again into Noivern or go into Metagross and take the hit. And I don't have rocks, so I'm not really pressuring either, and then I'm going to have to get forced to get switched out. So that's not a great situation there. I'm going to bring in Charizard, because I know I'm going to live the hit. Now, if you're KCric side, like, I can, like, quickly pull up what I calc to be for, like, say, a Charizard X that's maybe just enough speed to outspeed, like, a max speed Crocodile and just go for, like, Dragon Dance. It could be some set like that. Like, you don't expect it to be too bulky on a Charizard X set. So if you're Scarf or Keldeo, Hydro Pump would 2-hit KO if you're Scarf. If you're Specs, then Hydro Pump probably kills. So, and you would outspeed, so it's kind of hard. I mean, at this point, it was hard for me to really find a switching in the Keldeo. I didn't really have it on my team. I guess Virizion would have been the best answer to that, but Virizion takes 40% from Hydro Pump, which is not that bad, especially if I'm no bulk, but Sacred Sword would be doing 100% damage to me. So Virizion was not the greatest response to Keldeo, and obviously was bad to every other Pokemon on this team. So Charizard is going to be my answer. I'm going to go for a Dragon Claw just to get enough damage and kill the Keldeo, and maybe I can go for, say, Knockoff on the Kartana or something different to lock myself into. And again, obviously, KCric wouldn't know I'm locked into Choice Scarf hit, but I imagine it's probably predictable. We dodge another hit, which is great, and we go for a Dragon Claw. Probably a little bit of bulk on the Keldeo. It made sense. You could still run some HP and still outspeed a max speed Charizard X, so that's probably, again, something that KCric's going to do. So at this point, I'm going to go for the Dragon Dance. You're at 60% on the Keldeo, so I guess there's no reason to not switch out, but I also did go for Dragon Claw in case you go into, say, Uxie or go into something else. I would like to get a hit off in Uxie, so that way in the future, 2 hits would kill, and I could go into Donphan on Uxie or something like that. I was basically worried about a switch out from the Keldeo, because Keldeo still felt pretty good this game. If it was Choice Scarf Keldeo, then you'd want it for the Kartana or the Aegislash later on. So it made sense for him to stay in as well. But I didn't really take that as big into consideration, though I definitely should have, because, again, if it was Specs Keldeo and just a normal Charizard, you probably killed Hydro Pump. So I should have made more of a consideration into that point. But I'll go for a Dragon Dance here. Again, still worried about what the Keldeo set could be, but because I am super bulky, I take that hit, not great, but this is Choice Specs Keldeo from that damage. But again, if I was not max HP and a lot of special defense, I'm like borderline dying to that hit. So I take it pretty well, and now I know I definitely will outspeed, which is great. At this point, though, I know that I do take one more Hydro Pump. If it's modest, I think the max it does at like 78%. So if I roost, I'll go to 80, and then I'd be at 2%. And then at that scenario, I probably wouldn't risk it again. I would just go for a Dragon Claw, get the kill. But at that point, it being at that low, you could probably switch into like a Rocky Helmet Uxie or even like a Rocky Helmet Crocodile, and I'm probably dying and not dealing too much in return. So it's definitely risky, but I feel like I'm on a little bit of a back foot at this point. So I'm going to go for a Roost. If you missed a Hydro Pump, that would be great. And I get lucky yet again, and a Hydro Pump is missed. So now I go for a Dragon Claw. I don't know if it's worth it to try to get a second Dragon Dance and him miss another Hydro Pump. But we're going to just get the kill on the Keldeo, and that's great. Now I'm in, like, the tides are definitely turning. The Noivern comes out here, and obviously this is screaming Choice Scarf Noivern. Well, one, it could just not be Choice Scarf Noivern, and I just stay in and Dragon Claw and kill. I feel like number 2, if it is Choice Scarf Noivern, I have to go for Drake and Meteor. So, 1, if I stay in, I die to that hit, but then there's a Noivern that's -2 special attack, and then I just bring in Aegislash. I have 2 spikes up, so I have a chance to autonomize. I don't know if that's enough damage to chip damage on everything to the sweep with Aegislash, but it's a lot of damage. Or, like, the switch into Aegislash is so obvious. Like, if I go into Aegislash on this Drake and Meteor, this Noivern's at -2 special attack, and I'm not taking too much damage from a Drake and Meteor from Noivern. And then, like, again, I'm in pretty decent position to go for whatever attack or try to go for setup. So, in the end, I decide to stay in. 1, because if it is not Scarf Noivern and he's just using this as a bluff, then I'll get the kill. And 2, even if it is, then Aegislash has an opportunity to set up afterwards. It is Scarf Noivern, and I guess the third chance would have been missing with the Drake and Meteor for the 3rd time, but it is Scarf Noivern, and he does kill my Charizard. I don't know. It's like, in hindsight, it would have been nice to go into Aegislash, and then at that point I could have gone for a Shadow Ball on the following turn, or a Flash Cannon, depending if I figured a Crook was going to come in or not. And I still would have had a Charizard pretty healthy, but, like, the Koko would have done a lot of damage. If it Specs, it would have 2-hit KO'd with Dazzling Gleam, though we knew it wasn't Specs at this point, so I probably was taking 2 hits. But Uxie would have been able to come in and parried me, and I don't think even if I saved the Charizard, it was going to win, but it would have been nice to have it as a secondary tool. But regardless, this is down. The crit did not matter, unless it was like 0 attack Noivern, which was not the case. So we bring in Aegislash, and we're going to set up a Autonomize here. It might have been better just to go for a raw hit on something, but I feel pretty good about being able to kill any one Pokemon on the team, because I am Steelium Z. So that should kill anything on the team outside of, like, Metagross, and then obviously I can just go for a Shadow Ball on that. So I could have just raw Shadow Balled here if I predicted a Metagross to come in. Because if I do Autonomize, I outspeed go for a Shadow Ball. If it's, like, a very bulky Metagross, it lives to hit and probably kills me in a turn Earthquake. That's also not great, but the Crocodile comes in, maybe expecting me to be more of a physical attacker. Not sure, but I am going to go for the Autonomize. If I'm Weakness Policy, this looks pretty decent, unless if it's like a very high attack Crocodile. It could also be Roar Crocodile, where I'm setting up and it's all for nothing. But I'm going to go for King Shield just for respect. It's the very, very off chance you go for a knockoff, but Earthquake is just super free, especially with the Diamond plus Kartana left. So we're going to go for the Corkscrew Crash, and I should be able to kill the Crocodile here. And then at this point, it's figuring what to do next. But I actually deal, like, 0 damage, and Crocodile lives and kills me with Earthquake. Now, this is, like, it's either, like, it's a Assault Vest for sure, and either it's, like, max HP and some special defense, or it's, like, max special defense and a little bit of HP. It's something like that. It wasn't max HP, max special defense Assault Vest, but it was a lot of investment to make sure it took that hit this easily. So definitely unfortunate. I didn't expect such a special defensive Assault Vest Crocodile to take on the Aegislash, but I died to that hit. I don't think, even if you're 0 attack Crocodile, I don't think the I think that was always a guaranteed kill. I guess I could pull it up right here. Let's see, Aegislash to Crocodile, 0 attack is doing 125% minimum to my Aegislash, so I'm definitely dying to that hit. And then at this point, I definitely can win the game. Like, Kartana locks itself into what move, and it's not going to kill the Metagross plus the Noivern. If I can get a little bit of differential, that would be nice. So I'm going to go for Rocks, maybe chip down the Noivern. If I had Ice Shard, I'm probably in decent shape to kill the Noivern, not that it's going to do enough damage for the Kartana to win. At this point, I go for a knockoff. That should kill the Crocodile. which it does nicely. I think it was a roll. So we do have +1 attack, but the Noivern comes in, it's Choice Scarf, so I was going to go for Flamethrower pretty safely. I switch into Donphan. I am especially defensive, so I will take this pretty fine. I don't have anything to hit the Noivern with, though. But fearing him expecting the Ice Shard, I double switch into Kartana to catch whatever is going to come in. I catch Uxie, sure. I'll go for a knockoff. I don't kill, and it is Rocky Helmet, which made a lot of sense to check the Charizard. Goes for Thunder Wave, and he misses again, which another luck. Again, that didn't make a difference. I don't think. Maybe the only thing that, yeah, even like, did the Noivern reveal its item? Did it show if it's Frisk or not? No. So the Noivern didn't show to us Frisk, so it was probably Infiltrator anyway. So even if I was like a sub Kartana with Salak Berry, like that wouldn't have done anything here if Uxie was going to go for a Thunder Wave. Because Noivern always outspeeds and Infiltrator bypasses the substitute, and then you would have killed me anyway. So I don't think that was the play there. So like, maybe that was a concern that KCric had, but I think this Noivern plus Metagross was always going to win the game. So we go into Donphan. I can't bluff the Ice Shard anymore because it doesn't matter. If I kill with an Ice Shard, I just pick up an extra differential, and then the Kartana is not going to be able to do anything because it's slower, and I lose the game there. So even with all the luck I got this game, I was not able to pull it out. So definitely unfortunate. Not a great game. I think I just overthought the build too much. Didn't really respect Scarf Noivern, which made a lot of sense because it outsped the Charizard, outsped everything on my team. Scarf Kartana outsped as well, so that made a lot of sense. And I didn't get Rocks up, which I think I was still fine getting the Rapid Spin with the Donphan mid-game as opposed to getting up Rocks, because I think Charizard did fine work this game. Specs Keldeo made a lot of sense, and I think I was also debating if Scarf Keldeo would come, but I really should have only considered Specs Keldeo. Not that I had too much of a response anyway. I don't think Verzion was going to be this good this game. AV Crocodile definitely made sense if Gloom wasn't going to come for the Aegislash, and maybe I overthought Gloom as an option to come. Just overthought this one honestly. Hopefully I can just kind of predict very, very basic level, what's I going to bring to handle my Aegislash, what's he going to bring to handle my Kartana, my Charizard. There's only so many things that they have to bring, because we only have 8 Pokemon on our teams for the most part. There's only limited responses. So at that point, it's okay, well, they probably have to bring the sets, and then I should consider, most of the time that's going to come, so how am I going to beat that set particularly? So hopefully I just don't overthink the matchup too much against I. Would really be nice to beat to it at the midway point. But yeah, good games to him. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this content. Make sure you guys subscribe, and yeah, until next time, later guys.